Welcome y'all to another EBX discussion, and salute to the new subscribers and those that have been riding along with me on this journey. Much respect and much appreciated. That means that divine is working through me and working through us. And I always got to get to them honors. Honor thy ancestors, whose spirit is still alive in the present and is powerful. And I honor our families, anyone that we held dear. May they rest in peace and in power. And may all of our families prosper and everything we touch turn to gold. And those that's reaching and teaching out there and it's coming from the pit of the soul, salute and keep doing what we doing, because that realm is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And we have to embrace good things. We can't be, some of us know this, but some of us don't. Some of us don't comprehend. We can't look at one another as somebody that's better. We all have different gifts, brother or sister. I say this from time to time. We embrace each other. We learn from each other, and we make each other better. That's what it's all about. Get rid of all this stupid shit within. And I can see it, brothers and sisters. That divine is touching a lot of us out here. And pretty soon it'll be easy to see the toxicity. But also at the same time, we become overstanding and understanding of those that might be having struggles. And we can only do so much. It's always going to have to come within with that individual. Something we know, but just confirming, adding to the culture, as I heard a brother say. That stuck in my spirit when I heard that brother say that. And, when I got things from different brothers and sisters, I'll always give them that credit. I don't mention names. That's my thing. I don't do names because I'm not an intention seeker. I am a reacher and a teacher, or a teacher or a reacher, not a preacher. I've done a podcast on of the difference between being a teacher and a preacher. And most of us that are aware, we know the difference. But again, I want to say thank those that came in to another EBX discussion. And I like to call this my silhouette podcast. I like to do this because, they're black. I'm melanated. And I will always pull the greatness from our brothers and sisters. Our families, my family. I'm always looking for that positive. It keeps you good within. It makes your life, every day can be a triumph. You know what I'm saying? If I said that right. Everything don't have to be dramatized or traumatized or difficult, or it's all how we look at it. And as we go into those quiet places that I talked about on the podcast, from time to time, we will see things that will reveal itself, whether it's within ourselves, our families, or those we are lovingly connected to. And I mean family, brothers and sisters online. And I'll mention that from time to time because, again, those who are trolls, I feel sorry for them. Hopefully those that are like that and not learning and seeking righteousness and truth and trying to, search knowledge. Hopefully they'll, a light bulb will come on, because we all reach that light bulb at some point, so to speak. But some of us act like we don't see the light bulb. When the light bulb came on in my life, I paid attention to it, as well as many other reachers and teachers out here. Salute. So, and, just I always want to talk about something that tinkers around in my spirit. And, when I'm feeling it, when that divine, as it does a lot of us, when it drops it, when it downloads it to us, we must convey that message. Because I always say, folks, you never know who we're touching, uplifting, or in some senses, in some situations, might even be saving. We have to think of ourselves that powerful. We are that powerful. We are beings, having a human experience, and you have to be aware to even think of something like that. So, not saying that I'm perfect or I'm super duper aware, but there was a time when I wasn't. I'll even go so far as to say it was a time when I was just flat out stupid, and that's just being real. It was a time, and this is 20, 30 years back. I just didn't know shit. And it's wonderful when you can come to that realization, and you just become a better individual, and those you are connected to, they'll be better also if they're willing to grow. But I wanted to get to this the topic I wanted to speak on, and I made a podcast about this before, and it's called Scenarios Can Save Our Lives, and this is part 2. I did another one, and I'll probably put it in the end screen, and I found this to be true because I have done it in my life in many situations, but you only come to things like this and other things that come on this spiritual walk that we're on. You only come to things like this when you meditate and when you take some things serious. Not that our whole life have to be serious, but some parts of it do. And especially when it comes to, our life, if it's our health, situation with our children, our family, anything that's vital, that's going to be an impact, whether it's positive or negative. Play out those scenarios, brothers and sisters. I mean, really play them out. And sometimes even close your eyes, and play it out in our head. No matter how dramatic it seems, play it out. Think about things before we jump or react on things. I'm big on impulses. You'll hear me talk about impulses all the time. Because when we study our impulses, it will help us through a lot of things. And we'll be glad we didn't make the choice that we were going to make. And that's what playing out scenarios comes into play. And I'm going to read it's a little small definition I wanted to read, so bear with me. It's not a big one, but just to kind of, give you an idea, because a lot of us, I ain't gonna say a lot of us, some of us, we don't think about scenarios a lot of times, because especially in this computer age, everything's moving so fast. So that's why it's good that divine, that greater creator, the universe, Mother Nature, has a lot of us real, emphasis on real, like-minded reachers and teachers out here, brother or sister. We know about, playing out scenarios. This is what we study, is what we meditate on. So that's why it's good. It's a lot of us out here, to talk different points and bring up different things and facts and stuff like that. Just sometimes the things that we don't think about. That's why it's good to have multiple real, emphasis on real, like-minded reachers and teachers. Okay, I'm gonna read this little small little definition. Okay, and it's just a little summary. If something happens in real life, it actually happens. Let me see. And something happens in real life, it actually happens, and it's not just a story or in someone's imagination. I hope that kind of makes sense. I'm gonna read it again. If something happens in real life, it actually happens and is not just a story or in one's imagination. Okay, now that's when it comes to, let me see if I can break that down. See, that's when being self-aware comes in. And as I've always said, self-awareness is the best education. I don't care what degree you have, how much money you have, that you could be the smartest person on the planet and be the dumbest at the same time. That's why being self-aware is so freaking important. And I've learned this the hard way. But like I was getting ready to say, self-awareness will help you to break things down and see things for what they are. So that's why it's good to play out scenarios. I said positive or negative, but especially on negative things that can impact you in a bad way. And if you feel it, because a lot of us are self-aware, even if you're not self-aware, we all have, especially if we're melanated, we have some kind of intuition. But, sometimes some of us don't listen to it. That's that divine voice within that I've talked about before. Some of us don't listen to it. And then what happens? We're in that woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome. So if you've been through enough woulda, coulda, shouldas in your life, you should know better. And this could be young or old. You can always learn. It don't matter what age you are, so it's just that, most of us that are awakened, getting up in the years, so to speak, we have become wiser and we know the do's and the don'ts. And unfortunately, have some that's up in age, that's a grown adolescent, still haven't learned. And it's really sad. That's sad. But for those that have learned and have grown, we know about those scenarios. Just play them out. And it can be with anything. It can be for your job. It can be playing out a scenario for a relationship, marriage, something. You might have a challenge with a child. If you're going to have a discussion with them, you want to discipline them. Play out that scenario. Think about it. First, talk to them. See what's going on in their minds. I say this a lot too. See what makes them tick. Play it out. We have to be creative when it comes to disciplining our children. Again, I'm not a child expert going off experience. Don't just jump off, and just, hey, I'm gonna whoop your butt, or I'm gonna spank you, or you're grounded. Of course, we do have to discipline them, but see what's going on in that mind, so they won't keep repeating the same thing over and over. Which, some children, depending on the child, male or female, every child's different. But if we stay at it, if we're persistent and we're loving and we show that child we care, our teachings will begin to show in them. It will begin to show, here and there. Because children, children are going to do what children do. But we stay at it. We keep chipping away, playing out them scenarios. Same thing go with relationships. This is something I've learned too. We break up, you have arguments, and I used to be like, oh, that's it, I'm done. Now I find myself, trying to find the cause of why maybe I reacted off something or the significant other reacted, and really study the situation so we can fix it, instead of just running away and just breaking up, unless it's just really bad and it's a really terrible domestic situation, depending on who we are as individuals, male or female. And if it's really like, if you're getting, beaten, if it's a lot of hitting and cops might get involved, then you might have to split up. But if it's something that's just arguments and it's just, it's not really nothing really bad and it's insignificant, and and you do see if you do see some light at the end of the tunnel, work that out. Play out that scenario, play it out, work it out in your mind, close your eyes, especially if we have children involved, even if you do have to break up and split up, still play out the scenario of how things can go and how it can affect the children, because, and I've been in this state, you going back and forth with the significant other and you're forgetting about the children, you forget about how it affects them, because children see everything and they hear everything. Sometimes they just might not say nothing, because sometimes as parents, male or female, brother or sister, we forget about the children's intuition also, and things they sense. They might not be aware of it and know it, but children see things, and feel things. And some children are very intelligent like that and do know what they're feeling and seeing. So that's another important reason why we should play out scenarios. It's almost like seeing into the future almost, because you teach oneself when you play out scenarios on a regular basis, it teaches oneself to, you see things coming before they come. It's a beautiful thing when you're able to do that, but it's not easy. It doesn't come overnight. It takes a lot of experience. It takes a lot of enduring, it takes some humbleness, some humiliation, of course, in some cases, depending on what it is, especially when it comes to the significant other, because when we have that divine love, we will understand, overstand, and understand. That's the beauty of being self-aware. So, and just study on it. Those in the beginning, those that might be struggling, don't stop. There will be results when you learn to play out scenarios on just about everything in our lives. We will miss so much bullshit. I'll give that a guarantee. You will miss a lot of bullshit when we play out scenarios on the regular, and you'll be like, wow. And when you get that result of that scenario that you play out, guess what? When everything's back to, when you stop the drama and nothing happened, play out another scenario. I always do a flip side too. If you come through victory and you're like, oh, I'm glad I didn't do that. Play out another one. I always go to I do the positive, then I do the flip side. I'm like, okay, what would happen if I would have done this? So you play out another scenario. If you would have made the wrong choice, play that scenario out too. And you be like, whoa, yeah, brothers and sisters. And guess what'll open up? That pineal gland. And if one hasn't studied, self-awareness, spirituality, pineal gland, and you just want money and you just want attention and you think you're invincible and you're on top of the world and you're doing all these toxic, nasty things that are not right subconsciously, I feel sorry for you, because it's going to come. Once you turn your back on that divine, it doesn't really, that force doesn't turn its back on you. But how can the great divine work with us if our minds all clogged up and we're not trying to connect with brothers and sisters the right way, and we're not seeking good things? Not that everything has to be, of course we have fun and we do the things we like, as long as it's not affecting us in a bad way or those we connected to. Because unfortunately, folks, karma is a factor in all of our lives. There's no exceptions to the rule. I don't care how much money you got or who you are. There's no exceptions to the rule when it comes to karma. So, you can take it for what it's worth. You can not listen to me or not listen to other brothers and sisters that's out here speaking that righteousness and speaking the truth. You're not hurting us, because you will see. As I said on the video, the last video I did, I believe, the flawless video that I did, whether you want to learn or not, life will teach us. Life will teach you. Just keep on living. This is something my grandmother used to say. Keep on living and life will teach us, whether we want to learn or not. So, and this, I know being righteousness, we hear that so much, but what happens when you're not? Again, not that we're trying to do everything in this life perfect. It's just trying to live the greatest life that we possibly can. That's what it's all about. And, we teach it to others, but that's the difference between religion and spirituality. Religion manipulates you, makes you feel guilty. No, spirituality, we welcome you. We fill you with love, and we let you come to your own truth and not make you feel guilty or forced. Our teachings, if you feel that way when you listen to us teach, our teachings, we teach in a way where it's got to be, you work it out within yourself. You don't blame the outside. If you listen to someone that's bold, brother or sister, and they coming with their truth and they're not playing with it, if you're taken back by it or feel any kind of way, that's when we play out those scenarios. Check oneself out. See where those feelings are coming from. See why you're feeling them. Any kind of hate, jealousy, envy, see where they're coming from. They're not just coming from nowhere. They got to be coming from somewhere. Because remember, folks, a lot of us, not the ones that are vibing high and has been doing this for decades, but you got to remember, folks, especially melanated, we all have been through some kind of conditioning. So some of us have come out of it and some have not. So the ones that haven't still harbor those, unwanted things inside and not dealing with them. And that's the worst thing we could ever do, brothers and sisters. And I know we hear this a lot, but denial is poison. It's the worst thing you can do to oneself. Deal with everything. You will feel so much better, and be honest. So if you do hear things about yourself, you be like, oh, okay, I talked about that already. I know about that. And never be afraid to talk about anything that you might hear about oneself. Just be truthful and honest, and don't live a fake life. Be as real as you can possibly be. I just don't know no other way to put it. If you're led by that divine, he'll put it on you to live right. So, and you'll know that divine so well, and you'll begin to connect with brothers and sisters on a different level when you sift through all the garbage that some of us carry inside, when we start playing out those scenarios, if we're thinking about doing something, like say if we get some kind of emotion about someone or something and we're thinking about doing, play that scenario out. Don't do it, because one little small little thing sometimes, depending on what it is, can fuck up our whole life. So that's why we play our scenarios and study our impulses. You hear me talk about impulses to them blue in the face, because that's what will save us, watching those impulses. But remember, folks, there are good impulses too. It's the negative ones that we have to watch for, because when we on this righteous walk, as we all know, those attacks will come sometimes. And what I say, some subtle, some aggressive. So keep playing out scenarios in every aspect of our life, kind of like respect. Having respect for oneself, and it permeates every aspect of our lives, and how we feel about ourselves is how others will view you. However kind of person you are, that's what you'll pull in. So try to be as right as we possibly can with each other, especially if we have a significant other, or if we have children, and keep playing out them scenarios so we can breeze through this life and stick to the important things that help us grow, get results, and solutions at all times, because that's what most of my high vibrational reaches and teaches out here. That's what we about, solutions and results. It should always be about results, action. Our talking, our thinking, our meditating, our spirit, everything we do should always lead to action in our lives, in our children's lives, our families. We should, like I say, whatever we have that's knowledgeable and powerful, share with our families, share with those that want to grow, and we embrace those that are reaching and teaching out here. We don't have little stupid feelings about them, because again, another good reason why we should never harbor hate on anyone, because we don't know what the other individual has been through to get to where they are. And how will we know this, brothers and sisters? By playing out scenarios. Learn from other, those that are toxic and act like they don't give a damn and think that, the power of this social media is a fucking joke, because it ain't no joke. It's a very powerful thing if you ain't got your psyche together. So just learn from those who are caught up and didn't play out scenarios and trying to, apologize and trying to go back and regroup and like, again, just be right to begin with as much as we possibly can. Don't just jump on, YouTube per se, and just jump off an impulse and say something bad about an individual, whether it's brother or sister, and just to get views and likes. But you just doing it without even thinking, and then you have all this drama now, and you're all over social media. So that's why we have to play our scenarios and just live our lives as right as we can possibly be, and keep that divine in there, because when we're connected to that greater creator, that mother nature, the universe, that great divine, we'll always be playing out them scenarios. We'll miss so much bullshit, brothers and sisters. Life will be a breeze. You will feel like a superhero, because and a lot of us, we are superheroes. We're better than any hero we see on TV. Fuck that shit we see on TV. Because something I said to my son's mom, I told her, you a real live hero, for real. She's a real live hero, and there's a lot of sisters out here like that. She's buried children. I have a son by her also, but she has, children by, other people. I won't get too deep into it, because I don't like putting people's, I don't do that. I don't put people's business out there. But from what I have seen from being around her the past 8 years, she's a hero. She's raised kids, almost done most of it on her own, have been through so much and still standing tall. You know what I mean? Has been battling, health issues and stuff like that, and, and different things with the children and, family, and still here. Then been through a lot of things. And you have some sisters out here complaining, and they got one child and complaining about the smallest little thing. And this woman had been through been through the storm. When I say the storm, I mean been through the storm. And I told her, I said, you are a real live hero. Fuck that shit on TV. A lot of these sisters, it's a lot of sisters out here like that. I got a cousin like that in my family. Man, it's raised multiple kids, and they is, man, little kings and queens, raised them well, soldiers, So those are the heroes to me, as well as my mom, and other people in my family. Those are the heroes to me, you know. So I know we got people that we like that's on TV and celebrities, but fuck that. That heroes right here in my family. My granddaddy, my grandma, they were heroes. You know why? Because they stuck together their whole marriage. They took care of their family. My granddad worked all the way up until it was time to not work to him no more, till all the kids were grown. So those are the heroes to me. And I come up with this by playing out scenarios on different things. So do that from time to time, brothers and sisters. You want your life to be blissful? You want to miss drama and come through with victory time after time, again and again? Play out them scenarios. And that's my thought. That's my thought. And this is part 2. And I'll put I'll put the part 1 in the end screen, because I think I'm going to go back and kind of listen to it, because I don't remember some of the things I said in it. So I hope that helped. One, play out them scenarios. That's the same as watching our impulses. And I'm telling you, you'll come through with victory. I promise. And stick to that divine. And you have to go in moments of solitude sometimes and play out scenarios. Close your eyes. You got to get serious with it. If you want to avoid drama, because that's what it's all about. And once you learn this, teach it to others. We got to get it out there to others. There's a lot of some brothers and sisters that are struggling with their mental and some their health and other things in their lives, because it all starts in the mind. Once we can get our minds right, man, I'm telling you, nothing can stop us. So that's my thought. And thank those that came in to another EBX discussion. Again, new subscribers, salute. Those who've been listening, even if whether you react or not, it's all right, because that's not what it's all about. We are all connected to that divine. It's not about that. So if it helped you, I salute. Thank you. And I salute to the reachers and teachers, the real, emphasis on real, like-minded reachers and teachers out there. Salute. And I honor your family, my family. I honor my children, their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. May you please have the ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. One.